Yeah. One thing that I like to do at the end of every season is just reflect on what I thought went well and what I thought maybe didn't go so well, and kind of come up with a game plan headed into that off season of what I need to work on and what I could get better at. Yeah, this particular off season, during that reflection period, I had a lot more things that I felt like I needed to improve on than maybe any other year. So, which can be a good thing. I had a really good, or I'm still having a really good off season as far as the work that I wanted to put in. A lot of it is based and solely focused on my swing and the mechanics of my swing, and really got back to work on that, and just continually trying to improve that and help our club in a better fashion than I did last season going forward. So that was kind of my thought behind it.
Would you put some distance between yourself and last season? Did you see things in the swing mechanically that maybe you didn't when you were closer to it? Because you're talking about, you said that was one of the things you looked at. So were there things
Yeah,
you noticed?
I mean, to be frank, I just felt like I worked a lot more than I ever have in my career underneath the baseball. Just really, you know, putting the ball, hitting the ball soft in the air and swinging and missing more than I know I should or I'm capable of doing, and then just really having some issues with just my swing plane, the way it was coming through the zone. So just trying to clean that up and being adamant and diligent and focused on working on that.
Do you know how that went sideways on you? Do you have an idea of how it started and why?
I just think that, just based on the way the season was going, I mean, I don't know how well you guys remember, but the year in 18, going into that year, my thought was, I made a comment, I think, here that I was going to try to not hit many home runs. I ended up hitting the most in my career. Well, I think that the way the year went for me, getting off to a slow start, kind of, just snowballed, and felt like at times, I was trying to save a season with one swing, and it just wasn't a good recipe for success, and just kind of got myself into a hole.
How would you describe kind of the battles that go on mentally when you're going through those slumps? And beginning of 18, you had a slump that came out and ended up with one of the best seasons of your career. Just as it kind of prolonged in 19, kind of what you were going through mentally.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly tough. I mean, I put a lot of pressure on myself to perform, and then I also, take a lot of pride in the preparation and all the things, that go into having a good year. And, I really didn't do anything differently. I felt like I did everything I needed to do to put myself in a position to be successful, and it just didn't work out. I got off to an ugly start, and, more than anything, I was starting to kind of, towards the end, get it going. But at that point, our club was playing really well. Guys that were playing in front of me were playing really well, and so my time on the field was limited towards the end. So I didn't really get to see it kind of come together, but was able to contribute in small ways off the bench, and we were able to, as a team, accomplish a lot. And so those things make it a lot easier on me personally when I'm not having the year that I feel like I'm capable of having. When our team is having the year, it's more enjoyable.
Hey, Matt, can you describe kind of like the collision in your mind? On one hand, you guys made the NLCS so close. On the other hand, the way you guys couldn't hit and got defeated in the NLCS, it kind of probably feels so far away. Can you just kind of describe those two coming together?
Yeah, I mean, we really just, we ran into a club that was just, smoking red hot. I mean, the playoffs are built in that fashion where the team, it's not always the best team, it's the team who's playing the best at the right time. And, we had really, played really well down the stretch and kind of gotten it going. Had the great series with Atlanta and had the huge, the huge final game offensively, and then we just ran into a buzzsaw starting pitching that we just couldn't find a way to get anything done. And then they had some timely hits, and it just didn't work out. But I really look back on last season and what we were able to accomplish as our group. I mean, I really feel like we really did some. It's tough to say overachieve, but in a sense, kind of the way it played out, I felt like we did overachieve in a lot of ways. I mean, we had some guys step up and have big years that we weren't really counting on. We had a lot of guys that would sit here and tell you that they didn't perform like they thought they should have, and then all that being said, for us to do what we did as a group was pretty special.
Do you think some of those elements of a number of guys having what you'd call kind of a down year offensively is a reason for optimism coming into this season, that internally with the guys you have in-house, you can turn things around at the plate and perhaps even be a better team because of it?
I think so. I mean, I can just speak for me personally. Like, I have never been, sometimes, it's good to have years like that where, you just kind of keeps you from being complacent and you can continually be motivated. I'm extremely motivated this year. I want to, earn my, good graces with the rest of our fans and even my teammates, showing them that, I could still be an elite hitter. And so I've got a lot of personal motivation. And then I know everybody, our whole group's like that. Offensively, we look back at, we had a lot of conversations with each other, look back at our year and think, that was kind of the separator. If we'd have been maybe a little bit better offensively as a group, we might have went a little further. So, I mean, our pitching was outstanding. Our defense was phenomenal. So I know we are all super motivated. I know Jeff, Albert has really worked hard to get us prepared for this upcoming season. And I would be willing to bet that we're going to be a lot better.
Your Dexter had, down there in 2018, the club was very supportive of him and committed to him last winter. It seems like they said a lot of the same things about you this winter. Does that kind of help your frame of mind at this point, kind of going forward?
Well, I mean, I certainly, I was very candid with our front office and our coaching staff at the end of the year that, really just wanted to apologize. I felt like I had let them down. Really was hard on myself the way that I played, and was hopeful that they still had faith in me. And we had some good conversations, and just like everybody does, you got to come into spring training and try to earn a job. It's not a guarantee, and that's my mindset. I want to come in and find a way back on the field more consistently and help our group. And you got to perform to do that. Nothing's given to you, and I'm ready for that challenge.
When you're working through your swing mechanically, are you a guy who watches video of yourself when you're going well to make comparisons?
Yeah, I mean, more so, in the season than necessarily in the off season. I don't watch a ton of video in the off season. More trying to just get a good feel going. But yeah.
That's why it's the video. I mean, is it 2013 Matt Carpenter? Is it 2018 Matt Carpenter? Like, what is the swing that you see throughout your career that looks like the one that you want to have?
Yeah, that's been the constant struggle for me as a player, is to figure out kind of what my identity is as a hitter. One thing that I know that I can always do is find a way to get on base. But as far as, the balance between hitting for average and hitting for power and what that looks like and who am I and, what is best suited for our club, those are the questions that I ask myself all the time. And, every year is different. And the years that I've stood up here and said, hey, I really am going to try to just, hit line drives and get base hits, I ended up hitting 38 homers, 36 homers, whatever it was. And the years that, I said that I was going to do, it's just weird how it works out. But I can tell you, what I would personally, if I could evolve kind of somewhere in the middle between who I was in 13 and who I am now, that's kind of my goal, and that's where I would like to be. This particular offseason, I've worked more on, to be honest, I've tried the whole offseason not to pull the ball, just to kind of get back to hitting balls in the middle of the field and using the whole field. And, which is who I was when I first came up. So, we'll see how that plays out.
The phrase,
Oh, go ahead, please.
the phrase that Shield used yesterday was that this winter you're out to become a complete hitter.
Mhm.
That's the word that
Yeah.
through the years we've kind of talked around that term. For you, what does that mean? Does that mean using the whole field more?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's just sometimes I don't even really know how to describe it, but you just when you're playing and you're wrapped up and things are just kind of going. It takes something like last year to kind of look back and go, all right, let's figure out how did we get to this point? Like what has happened? And I've had a lot of good conversations. I actually, have hit with some former teammates and some former players this offseason, spent some time having some really good kind of, just deep conversations about what I expect out of myself and the swing that I think I can have. And basically came to a point where it's like, let's just get back to hitting line drives and if you run in a home run, great. But avoiding striking out and putting the ball in play and just taking good at bats again. Last year it got away from me, certainly.
Is it part of that also, Eric was hitting it where they ain't, knowing that there's going to be a shift, taking advantage of open?
Yeah, I mean that certainly plays a huge role in it, but that's kind of the mindset. It's like, if you're, and also just the cat and mouse game of baseball. I mean, my entire career, you're constantly evolving and making adjustments. It goes back and forth. And I feel like the teams have, I'm in that transitional period where, okay, they've made an adjustment. All 9 guys are on the right side of the field and they're throwing me a certain way. So let's try and do something different. And that's kind of my thought process now.
Matt, you're a hitter that knows the strike zone well. What's your personal take on the initiatives to potentially automate calling balls and strikes?
I don't know. I'm kind of interested. I mean, I won't be able to speak on it until I really see what it's like. I mean, my first thought is that, people think that'll give an advantage to the hitter. And my first thought is that that the pitcher will find a way to manipulate that system somehow. That we are going to, whether it be high or low, throwing curveballs that hit at the bottom of the hit it on the plate but cross through the zone. It's still not a great pitch to hit, but it registers as a strike. I don't know if that's how this thing's going to work, but that's my biggest concern with it. It will be nice to have like a consistent, what it is all the time and not have to deal with certain guys that are different. But these guys are so good at what they do, pitchers, that if there is a little area where you can go and it's an unhittable spot, they can manipulate that, and that's what I'm concerned with.
One of the things that Mo talked about at the winter meetings in regards to you was the wanting you to put on weight and put on muscle. Has that been a part of your offseason, and do you feel that at all in some of the work that you've done?
Yeah, I feel good. I mean, I think physically I'm in a good spot. Certainly strong and healthy and feel good. I mean, all those boxes are checked. And my swing, I mean, candidly has felt as good as it's ever felt. I mean, I feel really good about the work that I've put in. And now it's, I can sit here and talk to you guys about that all day long, but until I go out and perform and improve it and show that, I can still be a productive hitter, then it really doesn't mean a whole lot.
What is the goal physically? I mean, is it to start spring a certain weight, knowing that the season has been hard for you to keep weight on?
Yeah, I don't think there's really like a hard line number of what that looks like, but I mean, I want to come. My biggest thing is I want to finish camp healthy. I mean, last year even, I think it's a point that doesn't get brought up a lot, but I got kind of banged up at the end and rushed to get to opening day. Not sure I was 100% ready, and it kind of cost me a little bit, and was trying to play catch up. So my goal is to come in, be productive. I mean, I care more about finishing camp strong and being ready to go when that first day of opening day happens.
Just a little bit ago, Dexter was talking about one of the things that when you're grinding, one of the hardest things, most important things to do is to step back and let yourself have rest and get yourself realigned. Is that part of that for you as well? Not always pushing yourself like that, but taking a chance to step back?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I really this is just how my mind works and how I was raised. I really feel like things like this are like learning tools and are good things. I really look at last season for me as more of a good thing than a bad thing. I mean, was I happy that I performed the way I did? Of course not. But now, having gone through it, I'm glad it happened, and I've in my career, really my whole life, I've always responded well to adversity, and I feel like I am going to respond well this year, and looking forward to it. And I'm really excited about our team. I think we're going to be really good in a division that's going to be a tough challenge for us, and I think it's going to be a great year.
You talked about feeling like you have to come in and earn your spot is how you want to feel this in spring training. Do you consider that as just third base, or has there been any conversation about different positions you might play from what the team's told you so far?
There's been no conversations, but, I think I've made it pretty clear over the course of my career that I'll do whatever that they want me to do. And and they know that, and I'll be ready for whatever my role is or what it looks like. But I'm going to come out ready to prove my worth, if is the best way I can put it.
Mo was talking at winter meetings about the strength and the weight stuff. He made it sound like that was a result of the end of season kind of testing. And you've talked about how you changed your workouts around because of the injuries. Was that something you felt during the season, or was that more of kind of like an eye-opening thing at the end of the year?
Yeah, so I didn't feel as strong last year as I have in the years past, and a lot of that was built on our kind of game plan for this last season. It was coming off a good year, and the thought was like, hey, let's just make sure we can keep this guy healthy and on the field. And so a lot of my off-season workout program and even in-season workout program wasn't necessarily as strength mindset as it had been in the past. Like, hey, let's see how strong we can get. It was more like, hey, let's make sure we keep you healthy and protect my back and shoulder, all these certain things. And wasn't able to keep the weight on that I have in the past when I'm in there lifting heavy and doing all this stuff. So then we had a conversation at the end of this year, a little bit different approach. Like, let's get back to kind of what I've always done and work hard in the weight room, throw some weight around a little bit, but also be smart with it. And so I feel like I feel really good about the game plan we came together with, and the whole off season has just been really productive. So I feel strong. I feel definitely stronger than I did last year, but also still feeling healthy and moving well, and I'm just ready to go.
I'd love to hear your thoughts. We're talking so much about how much goes into preparing to hit, how much time and effort, and then we look at other teams who've gotten in trouble for cheating while hitting, sign stealing. Can you, as a ball player, a veteran, and even maybe a Houston native, can you describe just your emotions when you saw those news?
Well, it's frustrating for me. I've taken, I don't even know what the number is of how many at-bats, and my entire big league career, not one time have I ever known what was coming. And I'm totally for stealing signs in the game. We just have never been good at it. Like, I've never had a guy at second base be able to see what he was doing with his eyes and relay it to me and let me know. Completely honest, I've never had one single at bat where the pitch was coming. I've had at bats versus pitchers where they are tipping and there's certain things that they do that lets you know what's coming. That's different. As far as relaying signs, never happened. My opinion and my thought on anybody who's doing that with the help of some kind of camera or technology, there's just no place in our game for that, and I think we all know that. So, it hurts me a little bit to know that was something that was going on, and, it affects everyone. That, everybody that plays the game, it affects everybody. So, but I can assure you that the St. Louis Cardinals have never done it, unless nobody's telling me about it. Yeah.
Did you watch any of those videos where you can hear the guy with the can? What's your reaction the first time you watched that video?
I'm surprised that it, lasted as long as it did, and I can't remember what point in the year that I think it was the White Sox with Farquhar or whatever his name is that spotted it, and it's just crazy. It was pretty obvious, and he obviously caught on, but yeah, it's tough, but it's happened, and now I'm sure that I don't know what the final ruling will be as far as like what the rule is. I would anticipate that the video room might end up becoming an obsolete area especially during the game, but we'll see.
Can you speak to, just as a hitter who's how beneficial it would be to know as the pitch is coming if it's a fastball or off-speed pitch?
Well,
I mean,
I tell you, I wouldn't have hit 230 last year. I can promise you that. No, I mean it's a huge advantage. I mean, this is what I would say. If you know, as a hitter, you go through parts of your season where you feel great and you don't feel great. Your swing feels great, it doesn't feel great. You're seeing the ball well, you're not seeing the ball well. That all happens. If you know what's coming and you feel great, there's almost 0% chance of you getting out unless you've absolutely, if somebody makes a great player, you hit it right at them. If you feel not great and you know what's coming, you still got a really good chance of getting a hit. I mean, like, you could be, and I'm speaking for myself, like I could be going through the worst stretch of my career, and if I know what's coming, got a really good chance of getting a hit. And if I'm feeling well at the plate and I know it's coming, I feel like you got 0 chance of getting me out. So, and I think anybody would agree with that or speak to that. That plays the game.
So the other side of that, how did you feel going into some at bats last year? Did you feel so off that there was?
Oh yeah. I'll steal one of my favorite quotes from my ex-teammate Lance Bergman. Felt like I was in the fetal position most of the time. He said that to be a good, my favorite line was his: if you're going to hit in the big leagues, you got to learn how to hit in the fetal position. And it's pretty true. I mean, I did not feel at most of the year I felt like I was in a hole before the at bat started. And you know, you just got to find a way to be productive during those moments. And you know, some years are better than others. I mean, I've had years where I didn't feel great for a lot of the year, but I was able to manage it and put together a decent season. But last year, I just didn't manage it as well as I have in the years past. So it was certainly a struggle. Later in the year, I felt like I was able to start to overcome that. But like I said, at that point, I wasn't, you know, really getting a ton of opportunity just because our group was playing so well. So, but it was for me personally, the biggest takeaway from that season was it would have been even harder if I felt like I never got it going. I mean, I did feel like towards the end I was trending in the right direction, and I felt better about, you know, I had some moments that you know, kind of put it, you know, help get me back together mentally, where I was like, okay, I'm starting to feel good again. But yeah.